Before we start our regular news bulletin, we have a news update to make, which is concerning the new legislation which has come out in Bangladesh, which is the Prevention of Torture and Custodial Death Bill of 2013. The AHRC is proud to be part of this momentous lawmaking process, where the draft which has been enacted in the Bangladeshi parliament is a law that has been drafted by the Asian Human Rights Commission on request by Mr. Sabiuddin Chowdhury, who is a member of the Bangladeshi parliament. It is also unique for the fact that it is a private member's bill which has been unanimously passed, and Bangladesh today joins a very selected list of countries like Sri Lanka, for example, in Asia, which has criminalized torture. The details of the law is available at the Asian Human Rights Commission's website, and you feel free to go through the legislation, which has a lot of unique aspects in itself. Thank you, and let us proceed to the news bulletin.
Welcome to Human Rights Asia Weekly Roundup. In today's headlines, new report on the neglected genocide in Papua. Rampant human rights abuses in Balochistan continues. More anti-terrorist draconian laws in Pakistan. Northeast India human rights defender speaks out about violence. Hong Kong demonstrates to defend core values. Our struggle violence looming in Bangladesh. Stay with us for more on these issues. Welcome to Human Rights Asia Weekly Roundup. The AHRC and Human Rights and Peace for Papua, or ICP, have compiled a report on the human rights abuses that took place in the Central Highlands of Papua, Indonesia, during 1977 until 1978. Let's take a look at some of the content of this report. Earlier, we spoke with AHRC's Basil Fernando about his expectations in releasing this report.
The first expectation is that such a large-scale killing be recognized both by the Indonesian government as well as the neighboring countries such as Australia and other neighboring countries, and by UN and others to come to a recognition of this. Now, a recognition would require investigations. Now, what the civil society organizations like us who have done this work do is basically do the preliminary investigation, talking to people, gathering certain fact-finding details which are credible enough and which bring the issue to a point where it cannot be ignored. Beyond this, it requires very specialized investigation. It requires forensic investigation, the DNA test and other things. It requires the participation of criminal justice experts, both from police and other sections who are very detailed information collectors, with the view of reaching a court one day for a case, so that it will stand the test of a criminal trial. Now, to have such investigation, to bring it to the point of an investigation would require a lot of political, is a matter of political will. Now, the Indonesian government should be brought to politically recognize this is an inescapable duty to investigate into this matter. The cause is that these separate people are being dominated, their natural resources are being expropriated by the Indonesian government without giving them the right to participate, to right to share in their resources, benefit from their resources. This is being denied. Now, these are the issues which require international discussion and a local discussion. I don't see how the Indonesian civil society, intellectuals and others could ignore such a discussion.
And now to the province of Balochistan in southwestern Pakistan. The continuous acts of disappearances, extrajudicial killings, military operation, and arbitrary arrests have generated a sense of deprivation. Then there have been demands to separate Balochistan from Pakistan. After the major earthquake in Awaran, a far-flung area of Balochistan, Pakistan military took advantage of the relief operation and destroyed houses where they thought insurgents were hiding. The military relief teams also stopped the foreign teams to provide relief who rushed to Awaran after learning about the earthquake. In recent days, thousands of Balochi women and men have come out on the street to chant slogans against the Pakistan government and appeal for help with the international community. Balochi people residing in the USA have also demonstrated outside the White House, where President Obama was meeting with Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif. They demanded an independent Balochistan. For more on Balochistan human rights violations, we talked to Basir Naveed.
Actually, the Balochi people, those who are living in Balochistan, they think that Pakistan has occupied their land because it was not part of the Pakistan, that original map of the Pakistan, and it was said that Balochistan would remain independent, and if it wants to join Pakistan, then it would join. But exactly after some months of creation of Pakistan, then Pakistani forces went over to Balochistan and captured that. And since that time, there is an insurgency in the Balochistan. And people think that they are denied of their basic rights of living in their own homeland and enjoying all the rights or the fruits of the freedom. Since then, a strong reaction is started from the Pakistani forces. And since 2010, more than 500 persons are extrajudicially killed in Balochistan. And during this year, the AHRC has documented cases that 127 persons were extrajudicially killed and more than 400 were disappeared.
Dozens of relatives of missing persons, including women and children, have started a long march for the recovery of their loved ones who are missing after their arrest by the law enforcement agencies. The long march has started from Quetta, the capital of Balochistan province, and will end at Karachi. They will cover more than 730 kilometers by walk. That was Basir Naveed at the AHRC. Also in Pakistan, last week we reported on the new draconian anti-terrorist ordinance adopted without parliamentary debate, which limits fundamental rights of citizens. Just over a week later, the government of Pakistan has now declared another ordinance, the Pakistan Protection Ordinance, which gives unlimited powers to the police, military, and paramilitary forces to enter and search any premises without any warrant. The arrested suspects will not be entitled to bail. These forces, on suspicion, can confiscate property, arms, and other household goods without permission from any lawful authority. And anyone found guilty of resisting enforcement of law or legal process will spend 10 years behind bars. The previous ordinance made amendments to the Anti-Terrorist Act, which legalized the disappearances, extrajudicial killings, and torture. The AHRC says that both of the new ordinances are in blatant violation of the Pakistan Constitution and fundamental rights. Extrajudicial killings by state security agents in northeast India have been rampant since the Armed Forces Special Powers Act was introduced in 1958. Earlier, we talked to Anjuman Ara Begum, a human rights activist from northeast India.
This law, Armed Forces Special Power Act, is a law where the army has been given power, discretionary power, that on suspicion the army can use fire upon a person on suspicion. And that has been a practice over the years. This law is applicable in Northeast India since 1958. Initially, this law was passed for 1 year. That it will be 1 year, it will be applicable in Northeast India, but now 55 years. That's why I think you are passing a law for 1 year and 55 years, still you can't solve the problem. The problem is something else. Of course, in Northeast India, every day if you go to the newspaper, you will find that there is incidents of fake encounter killings. And also torture. Torture is often, it leads to the death of the person, and sexual violence. The women who are facing sexual violence, they commit suicide or they're killed by the forces such that to remove the evidences. One estimate is that about 30,000 people got killed over the years since the act is in force. I think this whole concept of national security, it should be changed into human security. Like if your people of your region, if they are not secure, what kind of security you are talking about? You are talking of protecting your border, protecting your thing, then what about the people? The people are really frustrated, tired of all this conflict over the years, the impact on children, impact of women, impact in the social life, and 80% of the victims, if we analyze their social background, it's from the very marginalized group. They are the target. Then, and they have no clue, like when something happens, when army comes or police comes and tortures them, they have no clue what we should do. They don't know what to do. And also sometimes what happens, the police coming and torturing you, and the next day morning you have to go to the same police station, talk to the same police and file a case against them. How come it's possible? It's completely not possible at all.
The South China Morning Post reported a turnout of thousands for a demonstration to defend core values in Hong Kong. The demonstration was provoked when Hong Kong Television Networks, or HKTV, was denied a license to broadcast. Tens of thousands of protesters in black t-shirts marched to the government headquarters in Admiralty, claiming that the decision to deny the free-to-air TV license was a threat to the city's freedom of speech. About 100 HKTV staff formed a Justice Alliance and said they will camp at the Tamar site where Hong Kong government offices are located until an explanation was given to the company, which lost out last week when the government granted only 2 licenses to iCable's Fantastic TV and PCCW's Hong Kong Television Entertainment. Now over to Bangladesh. There is concern of potentially serious human rights violations in Bangladesh in the upcoming weeks as the general election is approaching. With us in the studio, we have Bangladesh AHRC staff, MD Azharfuzaman. Welcome, Mr. Azharfuzaman.
Thank you.
Could you please explain to us why are people fearful that violence may break out?
One of the main reasons is the institutions of the country are very weak. And in this case, the Election Commission of Bangladesh is one of the weakest institutions in the country. It is not independent, and at the same time, it is not capable of holding a free and fair election according to the requirement. And in Bangladesh, the situation is the politics doesn't promote democracy. So the parties that contest in the election, they don't have democracy within the political party, and also institutionally, they also don't do so. So everyone's intention is to grab power at any cost, which enables any political party to exercise endless power and also abuse the resources of the state using their political office for the next 4-5 years. Democracy is meant to the politicians who are centered to the power in the country. Of course, the people have a different view and expectation regarding the situation. And the fear is increasing due to this situation of the ruling political party who are getting ready with the police with them, and the opposition politicians, they are facing arrest, detention and custodial torture, and they are also going to face the activists of the ruling political party. So that creates the fear in the country, and everybody is afraid now.
That is all for this week's Human Rights Asia Roundup. Thank you for joining us and hope to see you again next week.